Today is the first episode of my YouTube channel, and it comes in this election day, very critical day, probably in the history of the United States. I couldn't imagine this situation 35 years ago, and this is basically when we came to United States as illegal immigrants from Soviet Union, from Ukraine. It was a different country. What happened during this 35 years period? I would like to share my knowledge, to share my point of view, and basically it's not just my experience, it's experience of thousands, maybe millions of people who came to this country legally, who obeyed the law, who followed the rules, who love this country, who are patriots of United States of America. And now we're in a different situation. And based on this situation, the power can come either to Democrats with continuation of multiple wars around the world, or to Trump, who was accused for being a racist, misogynist, fascist. This is a very strange situation for me, because my father was fighting, as millions of other fathers and relatives. He was fighting during World War II against fascism. And probably couldn't imagine somebody like Trump among his worst enemies. Very weird situation. I can tell you this, that using this kind of language is very offensive, especially from us, people who came from Europe, especially Jewish people. I was not, thanks God, I was not a witness of Holocaust, and I'm not a Holocaust survivor, but I knew a lot of them. I knew people who spent many years in concentration camps, who were persecuted, like my father, during Stalinism, and have absolutely different opinion. People like me about this country. I think this is the greatest country in the world, and use this country, this kind of offensive language against his own citizens is terrible. Let me give you my prediction. My prediction is very simple. I think, and I'm pretty sure, that Trump will win this election. Why? Because he is probably was, and he is first in the Republican Party who is trying, who is not just trying, who was uniting this country. I'm talking about African Americans, I'm talking about Asians, I'm talking about Latino voters. I'm talking about the whole diversity of this great country. People are very passionate. And I believe the turnover is great. And I think Trump is capable to change this country, to change his country the way it was before coronavirus. I remember, as many of you, how it was in this country when Trump was the president. What was the difference? The difference was huge. You can feel it with your pocket, with the crime on the streets, with anti-Semitic demonstrations around the country, with multiple wars in Ukraine, in Israel. This is very close to us, people from Ukraine. On one side, we Jewish people, on another side, we came from Ukraine. And we worry about both of them, about both of these countries. And I talk to many people in both sides, Ukraine, Israel, and majority of them, vast majority of them, for Trump. And this is true. This is the fact. And I promised them, I was talking with actually my friends once a week on a regular basis from Kharkiv, from Ukraine. And I told them a year ago, I said, my strong belief is if Trump will be elected as a president of the United States, the war will end. And that's what they're asking. They're asking to stop this war, not continuation of the same supply of weapons, terrible situation in the city. Half of my city is destroyed completely. Many cities in Ukraine are destroyed. We're talking about Israel. One of my relatives are in the army. And this is the same guy who said, we hope Trump will win this election. And he will support unconditionally the greatest ally of the United States in the Middle East and the only democracy in the Middle East. And this is Israel. That's why it's not just the facts about turnout, about voter registration, but also about common sense. We need this win. We need Trump to become a 47th president of United States of America, and we strongly believe in this. What I promise to you is to give my perspective as a first-generation immigrant in the next episodes of my YouTube channel.